Hey guys, this is our third video in my tutorial series. The first one was a latex mask painting tutorial. The second one was a Friday the 13th Part 3 barn scene hockey mask tutorial. This tutorial is going to be teaching you how to make a one-piece mold out of a latex or urethane master copy of a mask. This is the Part 6 bust sculpted by Eric Lubati. As you can see, this is a really thick pull, but obviously empty inside, hollow. Here is my Part 8 entitled Subway Slasher, which is also hollow but very thick. Here is one I've already prepared for making a one-piece mold. This is my new sculpt entitled Unstoppable. This one I have filled completely with plastic bags, so it's firm. It's like I can't push in anywhere really, just slightly. And in the base here, this is a really heavy piece of, it's like a weight, and it has a pole right through, and it stops about right here to make it sturdy. So what I did was, like I said, I filled it completely with plastic bags. So it's firm. It's like super firm, like a basketball pretty much. That's the consistency I would say. And then, as you can see, it's full of plastic bags. And then I put clay all around the whole thing to make a base. So when I am filling it, when I am making a mold, that it's gonna not collapse on us, you know what I mean? So yeah. This will be done in a couple days, so here's the intro anyway. Creeping Death Productions presents how to make a one-piece mold out of a latex or urethane master. See you soon, guys. Alright, we were about to begin making a one-piece mold out of this thick latex master. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit more about this before we start. For those of you who don't know, a master copy of a mask is the first copy that's going to come out of the two-piece mold that you do. And all you do is you Dremel off the seams and maybe put a little more extra detail in it so it covers the seams. So now you have just one good mask with no seam or no bad little pieces to it. It's perfect pull, but it's really thick. So now what we're going to do is cover it with Ultracal and make a mold. Alright, so what I got here is a 5-gallon pail full of lukewarm water, and then another smaller, I'd say 2.5, 3-gallon pail with water as well. And then we got these two little buckets. They're fairly large though. Those are, I'd say, halfway filled with water. And we got our Ultracal here, a 5-gallon bucket full. I don't leave it in the little bags because it's really messy, so I put them in these. So now what we're going to do is mix up 2 huge batches in these little blue pails, and then we'll manually add them with not chip brushes, but with our hands, just to pack it on like snow pretty much. Here is my apprentice, Kevin McEllery, who will be helping us today. This is a 2-man job. It could be done with 1 man, but I do not recommend that. It's very tough, because everything will dry way before you want it to. So what we're going to do is leave you guys here while we start mixing, so you can watch us boring as we mix little by little. Alright, so we don't have to be very fast at all, but oh, I should have had 2 of these things. Here's a littler one. So this stuff, we want it to be the thickness of, I tried to think all night how to explain how thick we want this, and I really couldn't come up with anything. It's kind of like ice cream, I guess, or maybe toothpaste, I don't know. The consistency, it's got to be pretty thick, but not so thick that it's full of little bumps in that. Takes about, I'd say, 10 minutes to mix this shit up.
20 if you're using this.
What's that?
20 if you're
using this. Oh, yeah. Didn't think of that one. The Latex Master needs no prep. You don't have to spray any clear coat or dulling spray or anything on it. It'll come out of the mold perfectly. You don't need to put anything on it. I usually make my masters pretty thick, but from what I've been told lately and from what I'm seeing is I shouldn't make them as thick as I do, because they can still make nice molds if I just stuff them better, and then they'll come out of the molds easier, so I'm going to start doing that. But as the saying goes, there's 1,000 ways or 1,000,000 ways to skin a cat. This is one way, and it's the best way I've ever heard how to do it. Easiest way, without any problems, to make a one-piece production mold. I'm going to edit out all the boring parts.
Yeah, Duck was skinning cats. You know that.
Yeah. Animal rights activists are watching us.
Yeah.
That sucks.
How's that one?
Oh, more.
More yet?
Yeah. Alright, so I'm going to start adding this stuff little by little. This even looks a little too watery for me, but gotta do it. So you see how I'm adding it? Just little by little, just slapping the crap on. Now you got to use your fingers and get into all the details, because usually there's a chip brush for that, but we're not using that. Nope, mine's too thin. Got to make some more. Shoot! I just wasted that shit. It's dripping down. It's too thin. See how thick this stuff is? It's globbing. There we go. That's a little better. But I want it to set fairly quickly, quicker than it is setting right now. But like I said, use your fingers and get into all the little detail here. Don't be afraid, because it's not a clay sculpture anymore. Just add it everywhere with your hands. Doesn't matter how perfect you get everything on the first shot, because you're going to be putting a lot more on it. You can pick up all this crap on the table and add it back on. That's the good part about this. Piece by piece, you're just rubbing it in there. That sounds awesome. I'm sure there'll be guys out there that'll be like, this doesn't look like a very good way to do it. Well, trust me, there's not any other way to do it. And if there is, good for you.
Yeah, each to their own.
Each to their own. That doesn't look very professional. Well, guess what? It works. So it doesn't matter. I had a douchebag trying to tell me the other day, I've been doing this 20 years. I'm a professional and you're doing it a really crappy way, dude. Yeah, well, nobody asked you, so. And if you've been doing it another way, that's good for you. Does it work for you? Cool. This works for me. Why would anyone make a one-piece mold? Because it's cleaner than a two-piece mold. Okay, this is perfect. Now with a mold like this, you're probably going to get a bubble here and there in the actual mold itself, just because there's no way to like brush it in, so that's why I'm trying to like fill it in with my fingers as best I can before it dries and hardens.
Everything is.
Oh yeah, that's perfect, right on. This is actually so thick that we're probably going to be done it fairly quickly, because it's going to start to set in about 5 minutes. Which is great. That's exactly what we want. The undercuts of the chin is always the worst part for me, because it always drops.
Yeah, this is looking pretty good.
Is it? Oh no, that's perfect, man. That's perfect. The more we put on the top of the head, the more it's going to come down. And the longer we do this, the more it's going to set. So if it's a little thin, cool. Like if it's dropping off like this, like it looks like it's a milkshake, that's perfect. That's awesome. Any more than that, if it looks like milk or water, then add some more. Yeah, I still want to use my fingers and get all these details because I do not want bubbles in this mold. When it starts to set, that's when you know it's too late for detail work. Alright, well, we ran out of time for a couple minutes. Okay, worry about all the holes, the bigger holes. Everything else looks fine. We want it a little soft though. Let's slate down more. Okay, I'm going to start adding burlap because it's already getting to that point. Okay, Kevin, do you want to mix these two together?
Yep.
Oh my god! Okay, we're going to have to add some water now to this.
Switch it.
That should be good enough. Okay, it was a little too thick, so now I'm adding water to thin it down just a touch. I think I added too much water, of course. Because when we put burlap on, it's got to be fairly thin. But not too thin, not watery thin, which obviously I did already. Fuck. That's a good idea. Actually, that's perfect. Okay, yeah, I'll have to mix this up with your hands while I get the burlap.
Yeah, give me 2 seconds here to see some bare spots here.
Okay, good. Alright, good enough.
This is only our second time doing this, isn't it?
I've done it about 4 times, but only once successfully. Oh shit, that's already setting way too fast. Way too fast. Okay, this is too thick on there, so what I'm doing is wiping a little bit off. We don't want it that thick. I want the burlap to be on there. Okay, I'm going to start putting the burlap in here.
You can just keep mixing or
Just keep mixing, man, yep. Even if you can, add a little bit more water, like a tiny bit. Yeah, you're going to have to add a little more water.
Okay.
A little too thick. I'll just bring that whole bucket up here and just pour a little bit on it. Just a tiny bit at first. A little more. That should be good. See how this can't be a one-man job? It would be almost impossible for one guy to do it unless you're making a Myers Master. That would be a little easier.
Something with little as detail.
Yeah. Okay, come start adding this with me on both sides.
Yeah. Right.
No, come on the other side here.
I was gonna say you want to rip a couple chunks out of that box for me. Just anywhere.
Whatever. Move this side.
I just basically from here.
Okay, that's enough for the head, and now we'll start with the shoulders and stuff like that. Technically, we should have had another batch ready, but that's almost impossible. I just want to get the face pretty much more than anything else with this stuff. Put it maybe right here, I think. So, we are pretty much done. We just got to let it dry. I'd say about an hour. Everybody says, oh, wait 24 hours. No, I'll wait about an hour, hour and a half, and then I'll demold it. So I'll turn this back on once we're finished. Alright, so this is the moment of truth for any mold making. I got a box here with a pillow in the bottom. I'm just going to gently put this in there, head up, or head down, sorry. So I can start demolding. Actually, that's not going to work very well. Alright, actually I have something else before I start. tool. One of these little spatula thingamabobs. I have no idea what they're called. So now this can be, it's been about 2 hours since we made the mold. I've let it dry for that amount of time. Now, okay, there we go. See, this part always comes off perfectly. It's got a big rod attached to it, but the rod has a ball at the end of it, so we got to take bags out so it won't rick anything. So it won't break anything. So I'm just taking the bags out one by one. It's stuffed, like completely stuffed, like it's like a basketball almost with bags. It's got to be 100 bags at least. See what you're looking at over there. Sorry if you guys didn't see that. I'm just wondering if the master I used was too thick or if it was just perfect. Gonna have to see. Alright, there we go. That's the rod. As you can see, this is what it is. Solid. It's about 10 pounds. Actually, take pieces of ultra towel off of it while whatever. Okay, so now I'm gonna carefully take all this clay off that took me 3 hours to build the setup. It's all reusable clay. I've used it many dozens of times. Oil based. Okay. Okay. Here's these bags. Alright. So here's the mold. Now I want to take off all this extra crap that we don't need. Carefully. Don't want to snap any important pieces off. I wish that would have came off. I'm just breaking off these extra pieces because when you're pouring latex in them, it just builds up on there and it's just a real mess. The less you have, the better it's going to turn out. Okay, so I'm going to take this mold here, put it upside down in the box. Let's turn the camera back down there. Alright. So here's now the one-piece mold. I'm going to take out all the rest of these bags here. Very carefully. Man, there's got to be 200 bags in here at least. Just packed. Okay, this is the part that's the scariest when demolding a one-piece mold. Because little parts of the detail can break off quite easily. But as long as I don't see big bubbles in here, I should be okay, and I'll be very happy. So I'm carefully peeling the master away from the mold detail, and it's looking pretty good, but it's the face I have to worry about, not this detail up here. Right now I don't see any holes or any bubbles, so that's good news. Okay, this master is huge. So what I'm going to do is basically loosen it up everywhere before I actually pull it out. And when I pull it out, I crumple it inside and pull it out so it doesn't touch any of the detail. So right now I'm loosening it, every piece of it off the walls. If you just pull it out, you're an idiot and you'll rip everything and you'll wreck all the detail of the sculpt. Oh wow, this is looking pretty good. Pulling it away from all the walls. Okay, now I gotta pull the face. This is where I'll see if the face is really, really good. There's not a lot of huge undercuts, so it should come out fairly easily. But one-piece molds are tough. So. Ooh, that's good. That's good news. Teeth came out nice. Eye came out nice. Okay, now I'm gonna twist this thing and pull it out carefully so it doesn't break off any pieces of the mold. Look at that! Look at that! Look at that! Wow, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls, children of all ages, there is one hole in this mold that is easily fixable. One huge air bubble, but that's okay. I can just patch it up, but other than that, wowzers, this came out pretty damn good. Yeah, there's one big hole, but it's not in a detailed part. The big hole is in the eardrum, which is a hole anyway, so that is an absolute easy fix. Alright, so I am going to pour a coffee tonight and see how it happens tomorrow. This video will end with this tutorial will end with the actual pull being painted to see how everything turned out. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Creepin' Death Productions. Alright, we're back. After I left off the video yesterday, I went upstairs and poured a copy into the new one-piece mold, and as you can see, or maybe not see, it's dry. I put it over the heater, the heating duct vents for the night, and that pretty much speeds up the curing of the latex. It's not cured, but it's dry. So now what we're going to do is fill it with baby powder. Baby powder or talc powder or any kind of powder will work fine. You have to, there's no way around this. You have to put this stuff in your latex pulls before you pull it out, or it'll stick to each other and it'll be ruined. So let's do that. Pretty sure this is going to be a medium thickness pull. This will be the first painted copy that I'll be selling of the actual mask itself. Now the reason to make a one-piece mold is so that you don't have to fill up your huge two-piece heavy mold that is bad for the back and just a pain in the ass. Making a one-piece mold is 1/3 the weight, and you don't have to Dremel the seams when you're done. All you gotta do is pull it out, trim all this crap off, and paint. That's all you have to do, and that's the benefits of making a one-piece mold, and it is worth it. So, whoa, spilled all over the place. Alright. Moment of truth. And this mold is very messy. It's not very beautiful by any means, but it works. Alright, that's a good thickness for the pull. So just gently take off all the pieces on the edges and the corners because they're really messy, and if you pull it off they'll break little pieces off the mold, little detail pieces, so we don't want to do that. So I'm just pulling, just like I did taking the master out, little piece by piece, softly, piece by piece. Now the face. Oh, there is a hole in the mold. My mistake though. Look at that. There's our first hole. Now let's fill her with plastic bags. Filling her with plastic bags so it keeps its shape. If you don't fill it with plastic bags, it will get all lopsided and the pull will be crap. Wow, there's a lot of holes in this mold. Other than a few little flaws I need to cut off, we pretty much have a perfect pull here. See, as you can see, there's a few little things here and there that I need to snip off, but he's good. It's good. Alright, you guys, we will be back with the paint up. Hey guys, we are back with the final product, the finished mask that was pulled from the one-piece mold. Let's go check it out. Alright guys, here it is, the finished product. 25th anniversary of Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood, called Unstoppable by Creeping Death Productions. Let's take a little look at this puppy. I'm hoping the camera is going to pick up all the paint detail and sculpt detail now that it's finished. Let's go on the other side here. Let's turn him around a bit. So this is a pull from a one-piece mold with no seam. So as you can see, there is no seam. You can't even see the leftovers of a seam. They were blended perfectly. So a one-piece mold is awesome. There you go, guys. Unstoppable.